Please video like and subscribe this channel. It started as the most ordinary of college experiences. I was 21, a junior at New Earth Interstellar University, and I had just been assigned a roommate in the new orbital dormitory module, SEO-7. I'd requested a quiet roommate, someone who didn't throw parties, someone who didn't monopolize the common space. The university administration, in their infinite efficiency, assigned me Rylus. Rylus wasn't human. That much became clear within the first 5 minutes. He, or she, was tall, maybe 7 feet in Earth terms, with skin that shifted between deep violet and silver depending on angle and mood. No hair. Eyes like opal that seemed to capture light and twist it into color patterns. Limbs slightly elongated, fingers tapering into elegant points. I had no idea what to expect, but I assumed first contact protocols would suffice. "Hello," I said cautiously, stepping into the small dorm room. My belongings, boxes, a futon, my old synth desk, were already spread in what I hoped was an acceptable human pattern. Rylus looked up from a floating holotable where they, or it, was arranging geometric patterns in midair. The shifting skin pulsed faintly. "You are human?" The tone was musical but uncertain, each syllable landing with slight emphasis as if carefully weighed. "Yes," I replied. "And you must be Rylus." They nodded once, and the shifting colors across their face dimmed slightly. It was acknowledgement, I think. Our first week passed without incident. Rylus was quiet but precise, never messy, always polite. They had dietary needs I couldn't begin to understand, consuming what looked like crystallized energy packets in exact quantities at exact intervals. They slept in a cocoon of floating biofabric that glowed softly, always hovering a foot above the floor. I did my best to coexist, keeping to my own schedule. Then the changes began. It started subtly, with the lights. SEO-7's ambient LEDs dimmed and brightened in unusual rhythms. I thought it was a system glitch. The air seemed heavier. Temperatures shifted inexplicably. At first, I assumed I was imagining things. Then the doors locked themselves. I woke one morning to find the dorm's automatic entrance seals refusing to open. My card swipe did nothing. Manual overrides failed. Panic rose as I banged on the bulkhead. Rylus was different. Their skin wasn't the usual violet silver. It was darker, almost black, with streaks of intense electric blue. Their eyes were glowing, facete more sharply than ever, and when they looked at me, I felt a tug in my chest, not fear, exactly, but a sensation of being examined. "You cannot leave," Rylus said, voice calm but commanding. "What? Why?" My words bounced against the metal walls. "I am changing," they said. "And the doors respond." I froze. "Changing? This is not a dormitory issue," Rylus continued. "You are not to leave." I tried reasoning. "Look, I don't know what's happening, but I have classes." "I have. You have no concept of what is happening." Their tone was firm. "Do not attempt exit." It was the first time I realized SEO-7 was no longer a dorm. It had become a containment, by design or by accident, I didn't know. Over the next days, the changes accelerated. Rylus began growing, limbs elongated further, the floating cocoon dissolved, replaced by an aura of energy that warped the room. Shadows twisted unnaturally. The room itself seemed to stretch and bend, corners elongating, walls curving as if the space itself had become organic. I tried contacting campus security. Communications failed. Holoterminals flickered, showing only static with a faint echo of Rylus' glowing silhouette. I realized something terrifying. I was trapped. And worse, I was being observed, not just passively. Every blink, every breath, every thought seemed registered by Rylus. I attempted to flee once more, smashing a panel to access the airlock. The metal melted under my hands, though not with heat. It was soft, responsive, almost alive. It recoiled, forming a seal around me. I screamed, not just in fear, but frustration. My room had become a living prison. "Stop," Rylis said. "The space protects me during transformation. You cannot leave. You must witness." "Witness? What? What are you becoming?" I stammered, backing against a wall. Rylis' body shimmered and split, multiple copies of their silhouette flickering in and out. Their voice became layered, harmonics overlapping in ways that made me dizzy. "I am evolving," they said. "The dorm is adapting. The Alio's architecture is responding to my form. This is temporary. I require observation, and your presence stabilizes the process." I didn't know what that meant, only that fear gripped me. But curiosity won over. I stayed. For what felt like cycles, though I had no way of tracking time, Rylis changed. Their body grew taller, wings unfolded like woven light, their face became more alien, more beautiful, and their aura expanded until the room itself glowed. Patterns formed on walls, tracing constellations I didn't recognize, pulsing in response to Rylis' movements. "You are magnificent," I whispered, despite every instinct screaming that I should run. "You may say that," Rylis said, "but you must endure what humans call discomfort. This is the threshold." Over the next hours, I discovered truths I could not have imagined. Rylis' form was not just biological, they were a hybrid of energy, consciousness, and matter. Alio's Seven's doors, its walls, even the gravity matrix, were all extensions of their transformation. Escape was impossible, not because of technology, but because the dorm itself had become part of them. And then the most surprising thing happened. "Do you understand now?" Rylis asked, voice calm but echoing across every surface. I shook my head. "No. I don't understand any of this." "They required containment," Rylis explained. "The university never intended to host a being of this magnitude. I am beyond their protocol. I am beyond even my species' limits. This transformation is inevitable." "I'm stuck here?" I asked. "You are not stuck. You are witness," they corrected. "And observer. And, if you endure, partner in understanding." I blinked, unsure what that meant. Days became blurred. I learned to live with Rylis' new form, navigating corridors that bent reality, walls that shifted based on thought, gravity fields that rose and fell at their whim. I learned to communicate in patterns of thought as much as words, my mind stretching in ways I had never anticipated. The fear never completely vanished, but admiration grew. Then came the first door that opened. It wasn't the airlock. Not the emergency hatch. Not the window viewports. It was the door to understanding. Rylis' body had stabilized. Their energy field receded just enough to allow normal matter to function. They floated before me, more alien than ever, but the room felt solid again. "You have endured," they said. "You have observed, and you have learned." I think I understand," I said slowly. "I still don't know what happened, but you changed, and the room, the dorm, it responded to you." Rylis' glow softened. "Yes. And now it will respond to you, too. You are part of this architecture, part of the threshold. You are a partner." It took me a moment to realize that meant freedom. The doors opened normally, gravity returned to standard, air pressures stabilized. The prison had ended not because the dormers had fixed anything, but because I had endured alongside Rylis. We walked out together into Alio's Seven's corridors. Students and staff looked at us oddly, though no one asked questions. Rylis' silhouette was radiant, wings folded neatly, aura dimmed but pulsing faintly with life. "I'm sorry," I said softly. I didn't know what I was signing up for when I requested a roommate. You could not have known, Rylis said, almost teasingly. And yet you endured. And now? I asked. Now, Rylis said, we continue. Together. For those who will come next. I didn't fully understand what that meant. I didn't understand the limits of science, or biology, or consciousness. I didn't understand what had just happened to me. But I did understand one thing. I had survived. I had witnessed. And the doors finally opened.